All right, guys, we're gonna make it rain bacon in 3, 2, 1. Make it rain. Woo! Here we go.
Get on up to lesson on coding.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesson on Coding. My name is Ryan Lesson. So in today's episode, we're gonna be doing something real fun. We're gonna be adding something to your website to make it unique, to make it really stand out, and to make it eye-popping. Okay? A lot of people have this problem with their websites, they can't keep users attracted to the page. They can't, have the audience retention they're looking for. And this is a cool little quick trick that you could use to basically have your website stand out and basically have more user engagement on your website. And you might be asked, well, Ryan, what are you talking about? I'm talking about a button that will rain bacon. That's right, bacon, once it is pressed. So once it's pressed, there will be bacon raining all over the screen. So enough chit chat about this. Let's get right down to it. So first things first is let's create that button we want to have to make it rain bacon. So I already went and styled it a little bit just to save some time on that. All right, guys, so let's define that button. So that button, we're just going to define it like this. I already have most of the styling for it already set out. So we're just going to basically define a class. Set equal to bacon button. And we'll say make it rain. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Then we're going to come here and then we're here. So we have this nice pulsing button that just wants to be clicked. Perfect. So now let's set up some functionality with it. So if you haven't watched my other videos on how I set up this website, please make sure to go watch them if you're more interested in how this website was set up. Okay, so now let's get into how this is going to work. So basically, we're going to be using jQuery, which if you don't have this installed, make sure you install it. I have this installed already, so I'm not going to go ahead and install it. So we need to basically have a JavaScript onClick function to catch this, and basically we'll work from there, setting up all the state for the bacon falling animation. So we're going to come here. We're going to go into our app, and we're going to new file. We'll call it baconrain.js. Okay, perfect. So now that we have our baconrain.js file, let's remove that. So now let's get into defining the function that we're going to be clicking on. So we're going to define it in a way that we could just basically add this to anything. Bacon raining equals. Okay. Actually, we'll call make bacon rain. Why not? I like that better. So make bacon rain. Okay, so we have this make bacon rain. And basically what this function is going to do is when it is clicked, we're basically going to run another function within it. All right, so now let's talk about the states of our animation and what we're going to be needing. So for our bacon strips, we're going to be needing to define how many pieces of bacon we're going to have on the screen. And a couple of different things with the animation. First, we're going to have to basically give every piece of bacon, we define a random position on the page to start from before it starts falling. All right, then we're going to have to give every piece of bacon a random time, the delay it has before it starts falling on the screen, because we don't want them all falling at once. And then we need to give everyone a random speed of it falling, so not all of them are falling at the same, at the same speed, kind of have some variation there. And make it look more natural, like it's actually raining bacon from the sky, baby. So let's go ahead and first things first, let's define how many pieces of bacon we want to make it rain. So we're going to put in bacon limit, and we're going to set it to 50 pieces of bacon. Why not? So we're going to come in here, and we're going to define a for loop. So let I equals 0, bacon limit is less than, I less than bacon limit, I less than bacon limit. And we're going to do I++. Okay, so there we go. So now we have this looping through 50 times. All right, so first things first, let's get that position of where we want to place the bacon in the window. So we're going to come here, put in window width equals, we use jQuery here to target the window object, width. Okay, perfect. So there we go. We have our window width. So next up, we're going to put in the random position where we want the bacon to be on the page before it starts falling. So we're going to use math.floor here. And then we're going to come in and put window width. And then we're going to times it by math.random. So this basically is going to give us a random number between 0 and our current window width. All right, so next up we need the random time and the random speed. So we're going to do random time first. Let random time equal math.random times 20. Okay. and we're gonna get random speed equals math.random times 20, and then we'll just add we'll add 10 to there. There we go. That'll be good at setting up different variations within this. Perfect. All right, so there we go. So next thing we need to know is with the random position, since the bacon piece is not, if the window, if like the random position is at the edge of the window, we need to make sure that we make it less than the edge of the window so it doesn't go outside our container. So we're going to quickly inspect this, and then we're going to see what our screen needs. So at this, it's 1280 pixels. So we're going to need to just save that for later. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to quickly put in 1280 pixels. Okay. So now that we have that, we'll come back to that later. So now let's define our piece of bacon, actually. So we're going to come in here. We're going to define a span. All right, so this span, let's do double quotes on the outside. And then let's put in span class equals bacon, bacon. That sounds good. And then we're going to close it right there. Okay, so now let's add some CSS to this bacon span tag. So first things first, we're going to add left of random position. So this is a random position for every piece of bacon where it's going to start. Top for right now, we're just going to define it at 0 pixels. And then we'll basically move on from there. And then we're going to define WebKit animation delay. So this is the timing. Random time is why we needed this earlier. So random time, and then we're gonna add a second. All right, and then we're gonna come here and do WebKit animation duration. So this is where we're gonna need that random speed I was talking about earlier. So random speed plus a second. Okay, so there we go, guys. Let me just make sure the spelling's all correct there. We don't want to run into a spelling error. Okay, perfect. So now that we have our piece of bacon defined, let's append it to the page. So we're going to come here, we're going to go bacon, and then, excuse me. So we have the container of the bacon and how it's styled. Oops, let's remove that. So now we actually need to add the image of bacon in there. So I went ahead and I have it right here in images, bacon. You can see it right here, a nice, juicy, succulent piece. So we're going to go back into our bacon rain.js and go bacon dot. Now let's append the image in there into the span. And it's going to be an image source equals there we go. Sorry, guys. These quotes are messing me up today. Images / bacon dot png. All right, so let's put / in here just so it knows exactly where to go within the current directory. And then let's come here and put in an alt tag, and the alt tag is going to say a piece of bacon. All right, that looks good. And then let's close it right there. Awesome. All right, there we go. So something's wrong with our random speed here. It's because I didn't do that right there. Perfect. Let me just double check this. All right, that looks good. Perfect. All right, so now that we have our bacon appended to the screen, all we need to do is append the piece of bacon that we've made to the actual HTML, the actual current DOM. So we're going to do that by targeting the bacon button. Yep, that's what I called it. And then we're going to append the strip of bacon we just created. Perfect. Okay, so there we go. We've appended the strip of bacon we just created. So one thing I did forget here, and we're just going to do that right now, is put this in a document.ready. So let's come here and quickly define that. Document.ready. And then put a function inside it. So this, if you guys don't know what this does, this waits until the ready event is fired before the JavaScript starts executing. So it's very helpful. Okay, so there we go, have that in there. And so next thing up, we need to just hook up the current button we have to this function. So we're going to do that by just going bacon button, that's what it's called. Sorry, bacon button. And then we're going to type in make bacon rain. All right, and then hit that function there. So let's come here and let's put in a debugger real quick just to make sure we're hitting this. All right, let's come here. Let's inspect the page. Make it rain, and there we go. We're inside our debugger. It looks really good. Okay, so that looks good. So now let's just add some CSS in it to make the bacon actually appear on the screen. So we're gonna come into our bacon.css. So the sway animation I'm using here is just something I found online. There's definitely a lot of animations up there that gives you the exact keyframes to use. This is something just like, I quickly pulled off just to use for mine. It works pretty well. I'll leave a link in the description where I found this. Okay, so there we go. Have our keyframes defined. Now let's define the span. Bacon. I believe that's what I called it. Let's just double check to make sure that is what I called it. Yeah, bacon. Perfect. Okay. So for this, we're going to define a couple of things here. We need to give it some spacing. So we're going to give it some spacing of 5 pixels. We're going to give it display of blocks so we can actually see it. We're going to give it a position of absolute. We're going to also give it a z index to make it on top of everything of 100. And we're also going to give it an animation of sway 30 seconds and then ease out. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So now that we have that all in there, we should be able to see our bacon. So let's click on it and see what happens. Okay. All right, guys. So sorry about that. So when I was defining the jQuery, I forgot to add the dots here for the classes. So let's go ahead and just add these dots here real quick. There we go. And then wait for it to refresh. Then click here. Okay, so you see we have the bacon on top of the screen and falling. So one thing I'm going to do real quickly here is make sure this bacon is not showing when started. So since we have the luxury of having this be on the first thing of our page, we can hide it above and then not have to change the opacity. But let's say you're using it within the like down here, you want to just arrange within this type of container here. You would just need to change the opacity to 0 to basically have it just fall from above. So we're going to come in here, and then we're going to quickly, let's see how much the bacon is. Okay, so I need to inspect it real quick. So the falling animation is looking good. So let's come in here, let's grab it, and then let's remove this animation for now. This animation's not looking exactly what we need. So let's just remove the animation for now. Click here. There we go. Okay, so here we go. We have all our bacon up on the screen. Perfect. So let's get some measurements here. So the bacon is about 256 pixels by 256 pixels. Okay, that gives us a lot of good information. So now I know that when we come in here, this top needs to be changed to 256 pixels. All right, perfect. So now when I click make it rain, they're going to be outside of the screen. Perfect. So one thing I was talking about earlier is that 256 pixels is very important because it basically gives us a buffer for how much we want our bacon to be in it. Because let's say, I'll give you guys a real quick hint, when I put this back to 0, then I click on make it rain. We got some space there. We got some space here. So quickly we're going to come in here and we're going to use this to basically give it some buffer. So we're going to be like random position equals, and we'll put in random position. Position is greater than, let's give it some more buffer. So we're going to use, instead of 256, we'll use probably 306. So 306 minus 1280 is 984. There we go. Okay. So if this is true, we're going to do random position. Random position minus 306, like I talked about earlier. And if else is just going to be random position. Okay. Awesome. All right, so I have that all set up there. Perfect. And then we're going to come here and we're going to change this back to 256 pixels like I mentioned before. Click here. Okay, so that should get rid of our space outside it. So, all right, guys, moment of truth. Oh. All right, guys, ready? Moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry, guys. Real quick, I have to make this negative. Okay, so have that negative. Come back in here. It's in the CSS. We need to add the animation. All right. Now this is all looking good now. All right, guys. We're going to make it rain bacon in 3, 2, 1. Make it rain. Woo! Here we go. All right. Here we go. And there you go, guys. There you have it. That's how you make it rain bacon. Thanks again for watching this video. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram at Lesson on Coding, Twitter at Lesson on Coding, and also be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, guys, thank you so much.